Well, hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial video for the installation of the CK2 Game of Thrones mod. So guys, I've had a number of people ask me since I started the Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones Drake Chronicles series, how to install the Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones mod. And I thought that it would actually be pretty prudent and pretty nice to actually make a tutorial video. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And this tutorial video is also going to explore and also show you guys how to run the Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones mod with the latest patch of the game of Crusader Kings 2. Because recently, I believe 2 days ago, I actually got the DLC for it. The Sons of Abraham DLC came out for Crusader Kings 2. And with the Sons of Abraham DLC, the Crusader Kings 2 2.0 patch just arrived. And because the 2.0 patches came out and it was a massive overhaul patch that updated the game from version like 1.111 to version 2.0, Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones save files and also the current mod version of Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones actually does not work with the latest Crusader Kings 2 patch because the mod developer for the Game of Thrones mod has actually not had time and he's not yet updated the Game of Thrones mod to be compatible with the newest version of the Crusader Kings 2 game. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to install the Crusader Kings 2 game, the Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones mod, and I'm also going to show you all who have Steam. This fix only works for Steam people. I'm going to show you all how to actually install the mod and play it on Steam. For people who don't have Steam, I'll talk to you guys really briefly at the end of this video to let you guys know how to actually use the Game of Thrones mod. With Crusader Kings 2, if you bought Crusader Kings 2 like on Gamersgate or directly off Paradox website, things like that. So let's get started. Alright, so what you guys are going to do first is you're going to navigate to this page over here in ModDB. So the Crusader Kings Game of Thrones mod has multiple download places. I've found that the ModDB page is the most reliable and it's the easiest to navigate. So the link to get to this page, guys, is in the description. It should be the first link available there. Make sure you guys check it out. And this is what you're going to do once you get there. So you're going to go here, and currently the link should take you straight to the downloads page, but if it doesn't, just mouse over here to this tab and hit downloads. And then what you're going to do after that is you're going to see a number of different files, and this may look a little overwhelming at first, but these are all just different versions of the game. Now, what I recommend, folks, is you should probably download the Windows installer. So the current version of Crusader Kings 2 Game of Thrones is version 0.4.7.2. Now you can download a zipped file or a Windows installer. I would recommend downloading the Windows installer, folks, because it'll allow you to basically just download the game and then just install it like you would any other program. So that's what I'm going to do in this video, and I'm going to use that method because it's a lot easier. So you're going to click the Windows installer, and then you're going to hit download now right here. And now this window is going to pop up. So you basically just need to wait a few seconds. So after you wait a few seconds, the download should start automatically. In case it doesn't though, folks, and it doesn't start automatically, you can always just click this little hyperlink right here, click to download CK2-AGOT, a Game of Thrones setup, and the site will download it automatically to your computer. So, okay, so after you've done that, you need to then navigate to your downloads folder. Now this is for all stuff that you download for Windows 7 or also Windows 8. I'll clean this out. Will automatically go to your downloads folder. If you have a different default folder where all of your downloaded material goes, you should go and find it there. But the default folder for any type of downloaded file is you go basically to your file folders here, and then you just click downloads, and then it'll take you straight to it. So then you got this installer, and you're just going to double click the setup button here, and then you're going to hit English. You have a choice of either having an English, Spanish, or French. Now, the Game of Thrones mod actually only supports 2 translated languages. It only supports English and French, but you can actually do the setup in English, Spanish, or French, depending on what your nationality is and what your language is. I'm going to run it in English, of course, so then you'll get this. You just click Next. Now, over here, this is kind of a number of different customization options. So you can do a custom installation, and that's what the default is. And if you do custom installation, the game will actually install a submod, which is called New Borders Submod, and this is optional. You can just disable this if you want to. What this mod does, the submod does, is that it'll basically add a mod that fixes the borders a little bit and makes it so the borders are a little smoother and a little less I don't want to say grainy, but it makes the borders look a little better. I personally don't use the mod because I really don't care about the borders too much. I think they look fine as they are. But if those of you guys want that, all you have to do is you just double click. And then there's also a translation of French, a French translation mod. So for those of you guys who only speak French, you just click on that, and then you just hit download. So I'm just going to do the normal installation though. So if I just hit you can either do full installation or just custom installation and deselect these. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit next. And let me see. So then what you'll do is then you'll just hit yes, and then you'll hit install, and then the game will be installed after that. Now I'm not going to install this because I already have the game installed. So you'll hit install here, and then it'll finish. So yeah. And then once it does that, the mod will be completely installed, and then it'll be actually, if you go to your documents folder and then your Paradox Interactive folder, and if you navigate to Crusader Kings 2, it'll actually be, you'll have some files right here. This will save your save games and things like that, but the rest of them will be in your mod folder. But you don't need to mess with this anymore. This is just so you can see that it's here. So, okay, so now that that's there, let's move on to the next portion. So, for those of you guys who want to play Game of Thrones and you don't want to wait until the mod developer actually updates the Game of Thrones mod to the latest CK2 version, this is what you got to do. So this is for Steam. We're going to start with the Steam version. So on Steam, you're going to navigate to your library folder. Now mine is currently organized in this fashion. It's however you want to navigate it. Anyway, so you're going to go to Crusader Kings 2, which is where I am, and then you're going to right-click this Crusader Kings 2, and then you're going to hit Properties. And then once you get to Properties, you get a number of different tabs. So you get General, Updates, Local Files, Language, Betas, DLC. What you're going to look for is Betas. Now, under Betas, you're going to get these two tabs. You're going to get Enter Beta Access code to unlock private betas. You don't really need to worry about that. This is what you want. This tab here is this little button here that says select the beta you'd like to opt into. So right now, you guys can see here that you can, the default option is going to be set to this, which is going to be none, opt out of all beta programs. And if we set it to that, what's going to happen is that when I run the game, see it's going to update. I'll do that really quick, just so I can get it to the later version. And let's see. Okay, so now basically because I just did that, my Crusader Kings 2 is at the latest version. So what you would need to do is you go to betas, then you go to opt out of all beta programs, and then this version right here, 1.111. This is the older version of Crusader Kings 2. This is the version that was out before version 2.0 came out. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this, and then what it's going to do is the game is going to say successfully opted into this content beta. So then you're going to hit close, and then you're going to hit play on Crusader Kings 2, and then it's going to prompt you to download the update or launch now. And you're going to hit download update, and then you can hit launch game as soon as ready, or just hit play game. And then as soon as it does this, and it updates, Crusader Kings 2 will launch, and there you go. So now you have, by doing that, you've basically just enabled the Crusader Kings 2 game to have the earlier patch version 1.111. Now all you need to do is you just need to make sure, if you have the Sons of Abraham DLC, make sure you disable it, otherwise you run into compatibility issues. So on this selected DLCs little tab, you want to make sure to disable this. And then over here on selected mods to play, you just click on this, you hit a Game of Thrones, you hit play, and then the game will load just like normal, and then you can play it. So that's how you do it for Steam. For Gamersgate and other versions, it's a little different. Basically, for those of you guys who want to know, who have the game not on Steam, what you'd need to do is you would need to navigate to Gamersgate or to whatever site you bought it from, and then just manually look up the patch. So on Gamersgate, what they do, from my understanding, is that they release patches every time a new patch comes out, and you download it manually from Gamersgate, and then it updates your game accordingly. So that's all you'd need to do. You'd need to go to Gamersgate or whatever site you downloaded it from besides Steam, and you would just need to download the earlier patch. So if you're looking for version 1.111, you would go ahead and find it wherever you usually download your patches, and you would download it, and then you could play. That's all you have to do. So, but that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that's helpful. If any of you guys have questions or comments, please put them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Have a good night, folks.